introduce yourself in your own words to the viewers of Spiritual Storyteller Podcast today?
All right. So I am in the middle of a transition. My name is actually changing from Sukh Demon to Shamsher Singh in about a week's time. So I'm taking on this new identity, or I'm flowing into my new identity as a Khalsa. So it's a spiritual journey for myself. I'm 50, turning 51 years old. And I'm a physician, an emergency physician. I've been involved with cannabis medicine, psychedelic medicine, been on the spiritual journey for a while, and have come into this creative process and specifically music as a form of expression and seeing how deeply it is lined with the spiritual process. And then I've come into the creative process with it as well, through writing music and song. So that's a little bit about me. Uh, I know this podcast is going to be about the creative process and this transition into it. I'm early. I'm early into it. So I'll share my journey of what I've been going through.
A newborn spiritualist, if you will.
Well, newborn more in terms of being able to express fully, not holding back. I think that's more where yeah, I think that's a better description.
Absolutely. And I
Yeah.
think it's interesting because we met in Egypt, and one of the things that really stood out to me was the fact that you are a physician, I'm a nurse, but here we are exploring these sacred sites in Egypt. And oh, by the way, we both are recording music and writing songs. And it just was this weird cross to me of people, that other singer-songwriters that were there, other musicians, that like, why is this happening now? What is the journey? What is the reason for this? Because we could have been investment bankers, we could have been realtors, we could have been any plethora of other types of individuals, but we were all healthcare oriented, that felt the calling to go to these sacred sites and tone our unique sound into the world. So I want to hear your take on why you think that that was important and why that was happening at that time.
Oh man, that's a whole can of worms. Oh man, that's I I think. I mean, there was something that called us all together. I think it was greater than Robert Grant.
Yep.
It was a very unique group that got brought together there. And that trip, I mean, that trip was for myself priceless. I feel like I got launched into a different stratosphere there. And it's not something I've come, it's been 3 months, 4 months, and it's not something I'm not going to be coming back down. It's a different octave of like, it's why it's such an interesting I, question and why it's happening, why we were there, and this I don't know, Tracy. It's a hard one to explain. I think part of it's also related to the time, like the world, what it's going through, this separation, and like the Eye of Thoth, and kind of like seeing with only one side, seeing with only the masculine side, the feminine side coming back. So it's this internal kind of journey, this reunion of the divine masculine and feminine, and the beauty that is expressed through voice and music and art and the creative process, which is really like you're going out into entropy, and you're taking chaos and turning it into order, which is what we are meant to do as creatives. We're all creative beings, all of us. And I'm going to quote something from Guru Nanak. One, we're karta pork. We are creators, like the creator, and whatever you think of that source creator. We're also creators, so we're meant to create.
Yep.
And I think at this time, sound and music and voice, it's been blocked or obstructed from us for so long. And one of the things, I mean, going to Egypt, we went to these amazing sites, but if you recall, we weren't allowed to chant or even hum in them, which
Yep.
was, I mean, at that time, I thought, okay, whatever. Um, but it particularly hit me. I can't remember where the first site we were. We were actually tried and we were stopped and we were given kind of the warning that, hey, we can't do this or like they're going to
That
shut.
Horus Temple.
Yeah,
I feel
that
like it
was,
was Horus Temple.
yeah. So, it was kind of a little disturbing. And Dendera.
Yep.
Man, that was like, I think that was for me the climax, the culmination for
Yep.
myself, because it was such a powerful, I mean, on so many levels, like there was so much going on for myself and the group. And just, I mean, I activated so much of myself there. Like I gave birth to many new things.
Hey there, spiritual storytellers. You hear me say that your voice is your power. And as a professional singer and performer, it truly is, which is why I use my Dr. Vokes. When I'm doing my vocal warm ups and doing any type of performance, I make sure to use my Dr. Vokes, which uses water pressure in order to add back pressure to your vocal cords, making them stronger and more resonant. I also love how the bottle contains water to act as your own personal humidifier, which is absolutely genius. Now, if you want to give your voice more power and you want to try your own Dr. Vokes, I highly suggest going to drvokes.shop and use the discount code Tracy10, that's TRACY10, so that you can get 10% off any of the Dr. Vokes products. The link is in the show notes. And I truly want you to experience the power of your voice, not only with the Dr. Vokes, but through sharing your story with the Spiritual Storyteller podcast. Now, let's get back to the show. Which again is interesting because Hathor being the goddess of music and the god like birthing creation to life. So I think it's very fitting
Yeah.
that it happened in those places.
I,
Horus being fed by her.
exactly. And that it's so fascinating. And one of the things, like, I mean, I have a like I think I shared a picture where like I took a picture of myself through this funnel of light. I opened my mouth and like, I just took a selfie and it was really weird. I mean, the sun was pouring through and the light reflected into my mouth. And I was like, whoa, this is kind of crazy. And then when I left that temple, like, I was so energized. I yelled out and I invoked the divine through Sikhi, Akal, Akal, the timeless. But what really kind of struck was like these are sound temples, they're sound healing temples, and they've been blocked, or like humanity's obstructed themselves or doesn't want to see and realize and feel that. And they're connected to sound and activation through sound. And I mean, all the sites that we went to, and we're so lucky we have access to, like, I mean, Robert Grant, we got to go on this trip, and I mean, this is his work, but just understanding the significance of sound and music and intervals and how vital that is. That was so enlivening. I mean, the throat chakra activation, like, and that ability to express and not be fearful of that expression and allowing that joy and creativity to come through, what was for me like really, it really resonated. And it's I mean, there's sadness because these temples or places of activation for sound and music, they're not allowed. And there's a sadness there because I think even if with as people find out, they want to try to activate and but we're in kind of a still a state in parts of the world and still parts of us that doesn't want to allow that to flow. And it's also like that activation of the divine feminine energy. I think it's closely linked within each of us, that activation of the divine feminine with the divine masculine to allow that creative process to come through. So it really like hit home how important this is and how powerful this is. And for me, the connection also with my spiritual practice as a Sikh really hit home how everything is organized through rag. Rag is, you can think of it as a kind of a scale in Western music, and it invokes different types of emotions. And rag is used to invoke a certain type of emotion in you during the time of day. Like, so there's rogs that you use in the morning and rogs you use in different seasons. And with that, when you sing the Shabad, the words, like it comes together in this beautiful way that is healing. And what this leads me to is like how kind of fundamental and vital that sound and creative process and music is for humanity. And so that's kind of in a broad like what I really like that I think that's why this is happening now, and that's why I think people are finding their voice and expressing now.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, and I think also, like you said, not just portals of sound, but like chambers of remembrance.
Mm,
And really, I think a lot of us were tearful in those places, and we're really having, like you said, like going through really deep spiritual, emotional journeys that we're just now unpacking even months later, because it truly was recalling like our soul's purpose, not just what we'd like to do in this body in this lifetime, but truly what we've probably been trying to embody and to perform in several lifetimes. So that's what came through for me a bit as well, is if not now, when? How many more lifetimes, or how many more journeys will you take around the sun before you truly embrace that, there was a calling put on your heart that you're not listening to?
yeah. This is so beautiful because it's I feel that resonates so deeply with me because it's like this journey into allowing and then also like flowing. It's like flowing with a river as well. It's not trying to fight against it. It's not trying to go against the current. It's like flowing with it. Okay, like
Surrender.
this is meant, yeah, surrendering into it and allowing it. And it's such a beautiful process because so much more happens this way instead of fighting it. And but it's challenging. Like it's not easy, and like for me I can share like for me the creative or music like kind of process. I actively pursued music because I started getting the kids involved in piano lessons, and I started taking music lessons with the music teacher Lydia, who's been an incredible joy to work with because she was coming to the house. When you have someone coming into your house, they're also seeing what's kind of going on. And I was going through a lot of challenges with relationship. I'm in the middle of a divorce now. So she saw like kind of this process when, coming once a week or twice a week. And I'm starting from absolute beginning. This was about, I think, 8 years ago. Um, so it became for myself, like music, a therapeutic process, like working with music and understanding it and understanding the beauty. I mean, at the same time, I was also learning the beauty of music theory, especially like delving into like Robert Grant's work and all the kind of the rabbit holes that it goes through and how like how music is connected to everything and is the base layer. And also like, I mean, it increased my depth of understanding of spirituality and my spiritual practice as a Sikh, and also understanding that that I have to or not have to, it was a wonderful tool for me to develop and create and nurture within myself a form of expression. I didn't think I would write a song, but what happened was my mom got ill. She was hospitalized. She had in a mental health facility. She had a psychotic episode, uh, and it was very puzzling to myself how this happened to her, or like her process of going through it. So I started writing like music with Lydia. We were working like just going from like G to D, G major to D major. And this, like, I just got stuck in that, going from G to D major, like the fifth, and no, not the fifth. Um, yeah, no, the fifth. And a song started coming, and it was about my mom. And I started writing verses. Lydia helped translate it into like music. I couldn't come up with a chorus, so she kind of helped create that. So it was a collaborative process, and it was something incredibly beautiful. It made me cry um, when I put it together, and I think that's the first time I cried in like decades. So it was incredibly powerful. At that point, I didn't have the ability to express, or I didn't have the confidence to use voice. I was just doing like piano at that time. So she would sing it, but over the years, uh, I started using voice and expressing, and more songs came, and we've got, I think, 8 or 9 songs now that are just sitting there, which are wonderful, incredible. Like they're like, I mean, I can go back and there's so much more. Like because every time I look back, they're telling a different part of the story, or they're a fuller part of the story. So I know they're wonderful. Uh, I think they're wonderful, and she does too. But when we were in Egypt, like you talked about recording and your music and the recording process, and I'm like, whoa, I've got to try, I've got to do this because I've just got this music sitting there, and it's just, I mean, for just for myself,
Yeah.
and I don't know where it's going to go. But that's what started the recording process. So I recorded. I think 2 weeks ago we went into the studio and recorded our the song Black Hole, which is a very challenging song because it goes from 6/8 time to 4/4 time, then back to 6/8 time. There's a lot of it's like it's quite like she's made it. It's musically there's a lot kind of there's complexity there, and vocally like there's syncopation. So it's a difficult song, and I'm still I would say at a 2 or 3 out of 10 in terms of singing.
But I love the idea of that already because it's already got lots of ear interest. And
Yeah.
and I think that's the beauty of a lot of us starting out in music that maybe haven't had the traditional background of the rules. I hear that a lot from people that have been in music for the last 20 years, where I've been doing a totally different profession, is they'll say, well, that doesn't follow the rules, but it'll work. And I almost love that about us coming in from a totally different angle and direction because we're not thinking about the rules. We're just thinking about what feels good, what tells the story of what I want to say in this moment. And I'm also feeling that, and this may be true for you as well, I'm at an age where if somebody doesn't resonate with the idea or with the lyrics, I'm kind of like, okay, that's fine. That doesn't bother me. But if that's not for you, that's still exactly the point that I'm going to get across with this song. And I'm really not going to make a change unless like somebody really has to convince me that it needs to change. Otherwise, like if I'm paying to create this song, I'm going to create the song that I really feel that I'm proud to sing. So I think we're at a different point in time where we're creating truly the music that we know has power in us, but also is going to have power through other people that are sick of hearing the same rules that are ready to be broken.
Oh yeah. I mean, we're at a different stage here. We're not like 21 or 22 trying to make it in the music business and having to conform. We're like way on the other side of this. I don't give a fuck. But
Nor should we. Nor it should truly be about what we feel called to share with our hearts.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, and like if you like it, wonderful. If not, that's okay. That's in the end, like this is it. Really, this is part of my like process of growth and healing and expression. And I love to I think it
Totally.
would be wonderful for other people. I think it could be other people like listen to it would get a lot out of it and a lot out of the story. I like, and I think it would be wonderful, but that's not what it was done for. It was done for myself,
Yeah.
and I can afford to go into the music studio, like like you shared, like I was surprised. Like I think it's important for people to be aware. Like they might have written something, or they're like, "Oh no, I can't record it." Or we've got wonderful tools at home now with technology. I'm not as proficient, or I don't have the skill, but you can go into a recording studio for like $600 to $800 for like 8 to 10 hours and record, and you're going to have the assistance of a professional. You're going to be able to like tune the thing, song out, and all the stuff. Like, yeah, you're not going to probably get it done in one day, which I found out. And yeah, it may not be like exactly what you thought. You're probably going to have to go back, but hey, like you're going to learn that process and be able to like get have like a storage of it. Because what I found out with some of the songs, like we have these incredible, one of them we have this incredible piano progression um, for the intro, and it was ingrained. Like, oh man, like we didn't even write it down what the notes were, and now we can't remember quite what it is. So I think just even having that record for yourself, it's wonderful. One of the things that I've kind of like thought about, like one of the grander, like I don't know if the like kind of a bigger vision. Like I'm also writing as well. I had this incredible burst. I've never written anything like in terms of like for fun or
Yeah.
for expression, but I started writing, and I'm writing. I mean, like I'm dictating, and, and it's so much faster than like trying to type something or write something. It's so slow, but now I can just like fly through stuff. And it needs to be edited and stitched together, and like, but it's so much faster. So I've got all this um, like chapters of books, and it's probably half completed. Like it needs more work, but I had this incredible burst of energy after the trip where I got half of a book done. And it's kind of an autobiographical kind of journey that I've been going on, but it's the hero's journey. And I am on the other side of it. I'm in this beautiful state, like, like,
Yep. Pre Nirvana.
In Sikh parlance, it's called Jagdi Kala, high spirits no matter what. So no matter what's
Like
happening,
that.
you're in like the state of connection, and
I love
you're
that.
you're in Jagdi Kala. So, but basically, the concept I came up with, like, I'm going to kind of create a different multimedia. I'm going to write a book, but I'm going to have like a whole album that goes along with it because it's kind of the
Yes.
process. So I'll have like these 8 or 9 songs that I've like recorded at different points of my
Love
life,
that.
different things, and they're going to mirror kind of like um, my journey through healing and through music and coming into authentic self and connection. So kind of merge this together. I think somehow. So that's kind of this bigger vision of what I'd like to create with this.
I love
So
that too because they say the best artists are creating a world for you to kind of immerse yourself in
yeah,
versus they create a character. Like, so the idea of the book and the music that goes with the book, it the hero's journey, it allows you to create
yeah.
this character of not only who you are and who you're evolving yourself to be, but taking that person on a journey and providing a soundtrack for what they're doing as well.
Yeah. So that's kind of like the bigger vision.
I love that.
It's we'll see how it translate into being. I think the book would be faster, but the music recording and like I could see, wow, there's a lot there. Like, I mean, the first like session ever, like what we got out of it. I mean, it was good. Actually, it was just average because we couldn't convey the feeling. Like the chorus is meant to be deeper, harder, rougher. Like it needs like heavy duty drums and guitar, and we didn't have the time to access that or add that in. So it just kind of became a little bit bland. It was too Black Hole. I mean, it's a song about being in the separation of being like out in space as this asteroid, being cold, and you're searching for warmth and source, and you're in this orbit, and you are getting there, and then it's like this energetic like drums coming in and guitar and heavy like kind of like energetic like feel, and then it kind of goes back down, and then it resolves. Like the question is like, is it love?
Yeah.
um, and it does resolve. It resolves in love. It ends in a major chord, and it's in the song is in C minor, so it's kind of going in this kind of query questioning, like you're on this spiral and or elliptical kind of
Yep.
journey, like to warmth and then separation, and warmth and separation, and then it does resolve in love. And, but translating it into uh, I mean, it's very interesting live music versus recorded. One of the things I kind of got turned off a little bit from the studio experience, because it's so like, everything's kind of tuned and adjusted. And yeah, your voice sounds much better because you're hitting all the pitches and the notes, and like everything's kind of perfect. But like in Sikh tradition, like Kirtan Rag, everything's live. Like there's no kind of recorded and adjusting uh, or I mean, there can be like, I mean, there's produced music through that as well. But I, what I found was like that live performance is just so much more depth to it. But you have to be highly skilled to execute at a high level there.
Well, I think you're hitting the nail on the head as to what a listener is looking for in the future as well, because I've heard it being said by other artists that all this chat GPT and use of AI singers to kind of get a demo out for somebody that's not ready to go in the studio. She said that's only going to make the astute listener want to hear a more nuanced voice, want to hear a voice that maybe is more imperfect, or hear a take that was done once and isn't as perfect, but carries that emotion
Mm,
that doing it over and over and auto tuning it perfectly can't make you feel. So I think you're hitting the nail on the head that we're all looking to feel the emotion and the realness of the music, and not necessarily each perfect note like we would have before.
yeah, and you know what? I'm gonna share like an experience I had on this journey on the Yukon River. At the end of this, I mean, it was a journey with four other guys that are on the spiritual path. And it's a journey down the river, but it's also a spiritual journey deeper into the self and with source. Um, and we listened to like live Kirtan, and we uh, there was also one recorded like a studio track, which was incredibly beautiful, but there was such a difference in depth of expression in the live Kirtan and live music. And the depth, like, because we really were in a group, like listening for the purpose of really listening. There was such depth, and it was really different from that recorded experience in the studio. So it's I mean, I think it's both have their purpose, but it's interesting. Like I think in the future, like you're right. I think more attention is going to be played on the that live music and the nuances and the emotions. Yeah, and the live or the fewer takes, it's not going to be perfect. There's going to be much more variability, but there's just it's just it's a deeper, richer experience that you're going through.
Yep,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Now, I'd like to always ask on the podcast to the first timers that maybe are seeking the same wisdom, same knowledge, same empowerment that we've gone through to get us to this point of being finally ready to share our music, share our unique tone with the world. What is a piece of advice that you would give or a starting point for somebody that is feeling the call to make these changes in their life, but maybe feeling that resistance between what family and friends may think? Or is this even the right journey for me to take? What would be your advice for somebody that's feeling that call to start sharing their voice, but not sure yet how to go about it?
Oh man, I think just keeping that larger theme in mind, I'm going to come back to the concept of kartapurk, which is your role here in this journey, in this form. You're meant to create. You're not meant to stifle your expression. You're meant to create, and you're fully meant to create and immerse yourself in this creative process. And through that exploration, you're going to find talents that, or expression that you never thought you had, or it's going to lead you down different paths and journeys. Like this creative process can take many different forms, and it's meant to take many different forms, and it's going to inspire many. Um, it's going to lead you to many different other opportunities that you may not be aware of. So it's kind of like the concept of creation is kind of like this process of like taking that first step. If you don't, and going from 0 to 1, if you don't take that first step, you're always going to be like, I don't know, like you're not going to allow that potential to happen. As soon as you take the first step, yeah, it's like me going into the studio the first time with Lydia. It wasn't that great, but now okay, we know what we know how to correct it. So now you take the second step. It's probably going to take, maybe it's going to take 4 times, or maybe this song is going to take 6 months or 8 months to really get right. Or maybe, it's not going to be me singing. Like maybe it's going to be another band playing. I don't know where it's going to go. But if I don't take that first step,
That's the
like
beauty of it.
you're never gonna know where it's gonna go. It's the same with like, if you're gonna create a business or something, you've got to take that first step. The first step's never gonna be perfect. Like you're not gonna create something amazing in the first round. I mean, maybe you will, who knows? But you're on that. What you do, you start that process. You're on that journey, and then things go develop from there. And it's a wonderful process. Just understanding this journey. You're meant to go on the journey. It's like the journey down the river. You're not going to be at the destination in one day, but and you're meant to create and express, and you're meant to actualize. And what happens? I'll share another.
Love that.
Out of my friend, one of my friends and family friend, his family as well. It's very interesting at this age. I'm 50, turning 51. People are at this kind of midlife time in life, and this midlife crisis comes around. People look and reevaluate what they're doing with their life, and it's a wonderful opportunity because a lot of people find that they've been stifled and they're kind of trying to figure out why or what's going on. So at this time to kind of harness the creative energy potential, especially through creative expression, is a wonderful way to go through this, and it's going to lead you on the you're on the hero, everyone's on the hero's
Yep.
journey, and you're going to find some incredible things. So for Gopal, like he's been stifled and stifled himself, so he started to express himself through kirtan, and music, using his voice for the first time. It's very rough, like when you first start, but he's not intending to create. Actually, he's just starting to actualize the ability to express himself, but it allows that to happen, and who knows where it's going to go. I think he's allowing that to flow, and he'll create, because you have to. it's just a natural order. We are creatives and creators, and we're meant to harness that. We're meant to create and express, and we add like beauty and music and flowers, and it inspires others. It's like you inspired me. And when you have like a group, like especially a wonderful group of people, like I mean, on our trip, like. Uh, I mean, for myself, like you guys, like inspired so much. Like I, I mean, I'm, I'm really different than I was at the beginning of the trip because I was like I changed a lot because of the support and incredible structure that we had and how long we were together. And
And seeing so many others doing exactly what you knew is possible, but then hearing how they did it in their own way, and just
yeah,
yeah, totally opened my eyes to what was available to me.
yes, yes. And just allowing it in and kind of seeing this like, whoa, like there's different parts of myself that I never knew about. Um, and that's what you're going to do
Yep,
when you kind of let that expression kind of forward and flow. You're going to find parts of yourself that you didn't even know about,
yep,
and you're going
I
to be able to
agree.
share that. It's like so beautiful.
Yep. No, it's as a child we were always told, to be seen, not heard, and now I think it's finally safe to come out, be seen, be heard, and to really start fully expressing what we've always known is ours to share. So I think like you said, understanding that we are a creator being,
Yeah,
you don't hear people say that a lot. They tell you to push that aside and to focus on other parts of yourself that society has taught us to really hone in on. But it's really beautiful to hear you say that no, that is our journey to be that creator. And so how can we step more into that than run from it?
yeah, I think that's fundamental.
Yep.
That's fundamental. Like, and that's also balancing that divine feminine
Yep.
energy, that creative potential, like this wild side.
Yep.
And humanity's been afraid of it and has suppressed it. And that's why we're told to be seen and not heard.
That's why we toned in the temples, even though we knew the cost.
Yeah, yeah, because it's actually liberating yourself, and once you liberate yourself, you liberate others as well.
Yep.
So it's incredibly, once you start on this journey, it's yes, you're creating, but you're also like you're engaging in this process of sovereignty, and you're going to inspire others,
Beautifully
and you're going
said.
to inspire many others, and so it's essential that you engage in this you essential you engage in this journey and process.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
Well, and
it's
what a way to just say happy birthday to you as well, my friend. And I think it's a beautiful way to celebrate the years of wisdom and knowledge that we've gained and stepping through with a whole new energy as we begin the spiral of now aging in reverse.
yes, yes, yes. It's yeah,
It's a gift.
it's so beautiful, and this like this aging reverse. It's like I'm coming into more joy and freedom and expression. Like and I don't care about being like uh, what other people think. I'm gonna dance.
Yep.
I'm gonna express. I'm gonna like
Yep.
speak
Do
like
it all.
I'm not gonna like I saw my poster thing. I like for my birthday. I'm not gonna whisper anymore.
Yep. No, it's beautiful to embrace all parts of us and to be ready to wholly and fully share them with the world. So,
Yeah, it's like with a childlike joy and energy, and like no, and just like allowing that carefree spirit to carry through, right? And it's wonderful being able to access that at this age, like in this process, in this age as well, because we have the ability now.
yep.
We do have some wisdom and insights, and also tools.
Yep.
Um, so which we didn't have when we were younger, and we have the yeah
Hindsight 2020.
yeah yeah.
No, beautiful. Oh, where can we find you, Sook? If we're looking for your music, it'll cut me off in a minute here, but I want to know where to find you.
Oh boy, I don't have anything out there at the moment. I don't really
Anonymous until ready. I like that.
anonymous until ready. Like, I mean, I've got some stuff about my physician activities and my business, but I mean, that's wonderful stuff too. But it's that it is coming. It is coming. So
Perfect.
I'm in the process of,
Everything in the right time.
yeah, yes, it's coming.
No, thank you again. What you shared was beautiful, and I can't wait to put this out. It should be in the next, I think in the next 2 weeks, this will go out. So I thank you again for all you shared.
Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you. And when the music comes out, we're going to do it again.